Hey witches, so I went to find my pendulum video from the old channel and it is gone. I don't know why I deleted it. Maybe I felt like it was me putting too much out there. I don't know, but I didn't. I permanently deleted it and I can't find it on my phone or anywhere else. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about pendulums instead of doing the demo where I contact my dad, because I don't like to contact him too often because he's been at rest for quite some time now, and I don't really like to bother him. Maybe twice a year at the most. I don't disturb him constantly, so I'm not going to contact him right now, but I will tell you a little bit about pendulum use. So the first thing you need to do when you're shopping for your pendulum is it's just like when you're shopping for any witchy tools. Just like your athame, just like your wand. You want it to feel right in your hand. You want it to be something that you feel that you connect with. And most of them are made of different crystals. So maybe you want to choose a crystal that has an intent. Like if it's a loved one that you're going to connect with, rose quartz. The one I have for my dad is rose quartz. Use that same one all the time. The one that I use when I work with Hecate is black obsidian. So you can have multiple, and you should have multiple pendulums. Don't just work with the same pendulum all the time for everyone and clean it. Let it keep the residual energy, and then it will keep building up, and it'll keep making it easier and easier and easier to, to make contact. So anyway, things that you should do when you start. So when you start, before you use it, make sure you smoke it out and give it the intention of basically, contacting the other side / divination, whichever one you're going to be using it for the most. So once you've got it ready, then you can start to use it. So if you're going to be talking to spirit guides and asking them questions, or if you're going to be trying to summon a beloved one that's passed / ancestor, you need to say something at the beginning anyway. You need to declare that it is a session of light and love. Nothing that is negative is allowed to enter the ritual or interfere with the pendulum, and that no one is invited unless they have your highest self. Unless they have higher self. I cannot think. My brain just went. unless they have your interests, your highest interests. They're looking out for you in that manner. Let's just leave it at that. So, anyhow, when you're doing your pendulum, after you've said that, some people like to make a little a protective circle of salt around it, just to be, to make sure that nothing negative can interfere with the pendulum. You can do that. But also, again, when you're beginning to, if you're using it for communication, do not sage out the room first, because you're going to get less activity. If you're ever doing anything to connect with a spirit or a ghost from the other side, do not use sage. It's very confusing to them. So don't do that. So cleanse your area with something, say your little say, and then start asking your questions. And if you're trying to communicate with someone, say their name several times, let them know you wish to communicate with them, and just keep kind of going on for a while, for maybe 10-15 minutes about that, so that the person, you can get their attention and begin asking that stuff. But you cannot ask about your future, your health, or other people, especially without the permission. So you got to keep the conversation limited to those things that you're allowed to ask about. So just make sure that you keep everything cool and you're good to go. So when you're using the pendulum, there are several ways that you can use it. The most popular way that people use it, and the way I started to use it, was I would hold it above one hand with the other hand and just kind of push all of my energy into it while using it to help the spirits along, and then ask yes or no questions, and then establish what yes is it back and forth, or is it in a circle, and vice versa, and then establish that, and then ask those yes or no questions. But I got tired of that. I wanted, them to be able to send me messages. So I bought one of the, the flat little, what are they made of? Suede-ish, sort of, I guess. Velveteen, sort of. But they're just little cloths that you can get, and they have the whole letter, all the letters from the alphabet right there, and it'll go directly toward the letter. The way that it's made, it'll swing toward that same letter 3 or 4 times, so there's no mistaking it. So that's really cool to have, and they're so cheap on AliExpress. You can get a pendulum, and eBay too, a pendulum and a little cloth for like $7. So anyway, do that, and you just need one cloth. You can use the same cloth for everybody. You just cleanse it every time, and then use the pendulum. And I don't know if I said before, because I don't have notes, but when you're doing the pendulum sessions, it helps to have out a candle, even multiple candles. If you're going to do the candles, I suggest purple or black. Or if that person had a favorite color, maybe purple, and add that color in. But you definitely want to include purple. I would have some amethyst around. I would have some howlite around for sure. Definitely howlite, possibly amethyst. I would have some type of protective incense going, like copal, myrrh, or frankincense, or Palo Santo. I would have some water out. I would have an offering for whoever I'm contacting, which would probably be red wine. And then I would have my sage for at the end, because at the end, when you say that the session is now officially over, and you start commanding everyone to leave, you want to do that with authority, and you want to do that with nothing less than sage. So you're going to open a window, you're going to yell, clap your hands, command them all the spirits to go, because you don't want anyone to linger in your house, even if they're benevolent, if you have children. Now, if you don't bother it, if it doesn't bother you, then that's fine, okay? If it does not bother you for a ghost to be hanging around, okay. But if you have little kids that live with you, or even teenagers, that could be scary as shit for them. Even a husband or a wife, just be careful and let them know something's up. Don't just, I would just smoke out the place and send them on, send the spirits on their merry way, unless you're 100% alone, because it's not really fair to other people, nor the pets. But that's all I have, guys. And if when you're asking your questions to your spirit guides, you want to ask questions like, there's a really good channel called The Wholeness Shift, and she does a fantastic job talking about the pendulum. She just goes on and on and on and on and on about spirit guides and how to work with them. She doesn't really communicate with the other side much, but she communicates with her spirit guides daily. And she'll ask things like, should I open a window? Is it my best interest to go to Hawaii during the month of June or July? Or what should I do daily to improve my health? How to improve things. You can ask how to improve your health, not just on your current standing of health. And they may tell her to drink more water, open a window, go outside, play positive music. They may just say raise vibrations, get more sleep. It's so cool to watch her do these sessions with her spirit guides. But you can do those too. It's not just to connect with the other side. That's not the only thing they're for. You can get some really good answers that'll help you live a longer and healthier life by contacting your spirit guides. You just have to let it be known before you begin your session that's who you intend to bond with. And over time, they're going to, possibly give you names, what they want to be called, possibly even if you ask them, what do you look like, they may give you a description of themselves. It's crazy. It is crazy. They won't give you too much, info about the afterlife either. They won't give you the winning lotto numbers. They won't give you a whole lot of, things about your future, except for maybe a couple of things you can do to, improve it. But they're not there to do that. They're there to guide you, not to just give you the easy way out, because you're put here on this earth to learn lessons until you become an ascended master, which may take you 100,000 lifetimes. You never know. There aren't that many ascended masters. So, anywho, that is all I have, witches, and blessed be.